The last section that we are going to cover at this time in chapter number 1 is section 1.5, and it covers angle pair relationships. So first angle pair relationship, all of these terms have to go in your vocab, are complementary angles. And angles are complementary are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. Okay? Complementary angles do not have to be adjacent to each other. So these two angles are complementary if they form a right angle and they're adjacent. Or I can have two angles that, we'll call this 30 degrees, and we'll call this angle over here 60 degrees. These two are complementary. Complementary angles do not have to touch, okay? But they have to add up to 90. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is 180 degrees. And again, they can be adjacent to each other. Okay, that would be 180 degrees. Or I can have that angle, we'll call this 150. And I can have another angle that's 30, and they are supplementary. These two angles are called complements of each other. So if I have one angle that's 50 degrees, its complement is 40 degrees. These two angles are supplements of each other. So if I have one angle that is 20 degrees, its supplement is 170 degrees. Next type of angle pair we have are what is called a linear pair. A linear pair are two adjacent angles whose non-adjacent sides form opposite rays. Okay, another way to think about this is two adjacent angles that form a straight angle. And remember, a straight angle has a measurement of 180 degrees. So here's the key point. All linear pairs are supplementary. But not all supplementary angles form linear pairs. And I've already showed you an example of this. I showed you a 150 degree angle and a 30 degree angle. These two angles are supplementary, but because they are not adjacent, they cannot be a linear pair. And the next definition we have is for vertical angles. So a vertical angle pair. So two angles are vertical angles if their sides form opposite rays. So an example of vertical angles would be two lines that intersect. These single black dots are vertical angles to each other, and these double black dots are vertical angles to each other. Here's a non-example of vertical angles. Okay. I have one set of opposite rays here, but I don't have another set of opposite rays, so none of these are vertical. One way you can think about vertical angles are the angle pairs that are opposite a set of vertices, opposite sides of a vertex, for where rays, segments, and lines intersect. Vertical angles don't have to necessarily be up and down, being vertical. They can also be horizontal. These two are vertical angles. So we're done with the definitions. Okay? What I need you to do now is pause the video, go to page 39 in the textbook, copy the diagram in problems 20 to 27, and then when you get that done, start the video back up, and I will go over the answers to this. This is part of your notes, and these items have to be in your notes. Okay, now that you have it drawn, we need to identify vertical angles, linear pairs, or neither, given the set of angles that they gave us. You may abbreviate in this class. Vertical angles is VA, linear pairs is LP, and for this one, we're going to put an N for neither. So angles 1 and 4. Angles 1 and 4, okay, that forms a straight. That's a straight, so 1 and 4 are vertical angles. 1 and 2 are a linear pair. 3 and 5 are neither. 2 and 3 are vertical. 7, 8, and 9 are neither. And let's go to here. Vertical angles are a pair. A linear pair is a pair. Supplementary are a pair. Complementary are a pair. Hence the title, angle pairs, and pairs mean two. Anytime you have three angles, I have to say it can't be any one of those angle pairs. 6 and 7. Right now, we have to say nothing. 5 and 9. Right now, we have to say nothing because we don't have any other information. So make sure you're able to identify vertical angles, linear pairs in here. So I'm going to just go through. I've written down the ones that were in the assignment. I'm going to show you every set of linear pairs and every set of vertical angles. So let's start with linear pairs. 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Those are all my linear pairs. All of my vertical angles, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. That's it for all my angle pairs. There is not enough information here for me to determine whether I have supplementary or complementary angles, with the exception of my linear pairs I know are supplementary because I don't have any angle measurements. So that's it for section 1.5, and that is the last of the material that we're going to cover for chapter 1. My recommendation is you go back through your notes and you start studying for your chapter 1 test.